If you can survive in science, you can pretty much survive in any other job, any other industry. The job interviews I've been in, they have tried to ask very thought-provoking, if not outright provocative questions. In a few years' time, it will not even matter anymore when AI takes over this whole job interview process. In science, your job is very different from other jobs. It's a combination of hands-on skills with theoretical understanding and written and oral communication, and you have to kind of make up the job that you want to do and apply for funding for that job that no one has ever done before in your own context. For those of you who are having a difficult time in science and trying to learn all these troubleshooting skills and not sure if you're really good at it or you're getting better at it, if you ever decide to pull the plug and move to a different industry, you'll be way more effective at whatever job you throw yourself into, precisely because of how hard those science research positions and those kinds of roles tend to be. And case in point, this interview process for not even a job, just for a PhD position, published as kind of an op-ed in the careers page in Science. During the interview, they were looking at a microscope as part of a competency assessment, and the interviewee accidentally grabbed the shirt of their male interviewer and pulled the undershirt out of the waist of his pants. And this was the second phase of a selection process for an international PhD program. The professor was unfazed, asked the interviewee to continue looking at the sample. The applicant stayed calm, took charge of the situation and said, "I'm so sorry, there is a non-uniformly stained part of the cell. Which organelle is it?" When confronted with challenges, this person managed to keep a cool head. That was actually a successful interview. Who would have thought? This person was successful for that position because the person was looking for a dedicated troubleshooter who won't freak out at time of crisis. Even if the person didn't accidentally bump the interviewer in the face or mess up their clothing, if there was a difficult problem or they couldn't focus on the sample in the microscope, they could walk through the process of figuring it out. There is this additional hurdle of being calm under pressure. So science interviews, unfortunately, may have even more provocative statements than those coffee cup tests, than those hurling insults at you. You have to show your ability to think on your feet and solve problems, and some of these could be very technical problems you need to address. This makes it sound almost impossible, doesn't it? But again, the job interview process is just one small hurdle. And if I can give you one tip from all these years of applying for different jobs and sitting on job selection interview panels as well. Look, when I'm on those panels, I do my best not to ask trick questions. I'm proud of myself for never having asked a trick question. One big idea. At the end of that job interview process, you should be memorable because you have focused your answers all around one big idea, which is something that's very common in marketing. The idea that a product will not be remembered unless all the avenues of the advertising and marketing campaign emphasize a single idea. And that single idea could be, look, I am really focused on trying out new things and innovation. So in any aspect of your answer, it's always focused on finding new ways of doing things and trying new things. You infuse that into every answer you give, and that is your one big idea. On top of all your accomplishments, on top of all of your achievements, it's this other intangible. Just try to be yourself, the best version of yourself, because in a few years' time, it will not even matter anymore when AI takes over this whole job interview process. A job candidate is presented with questions on screen in text form that they answer and submit via either text or video. I suspect video is going to be more and more common because they can get more information from the video than they can just from a text-based response. Completely automated. You're talking to a black screen. These companies won't even serve you with enough dignity and self-respect to roll some human out to talk to you. You're just talking to a computer. And the trick here is that it's an algorithm that reviews and judges your video submission. So they're looking for patterns. They're not looking for the best answer in the world. They're looking for patterns. Then you could train yourself to use those patterns that they're looking for. Verbal data, the words they use, vocal data, the manner of speech and delivery. And really what you're doing is trying to eliminate any red flags for their algorithm. So if it's a video, good eye contact makes a lot of sense as well. How you project your voice, if you're mumbling a lot or if you're speaking up nice and clearly. Are your shoulders upright or are you slouching quite a bit? Also, are you fidgeting with your hands? Are you sweating? Are you nervous? All of these things play into these patterns that the AI algorithm is trying to detect to rule you out as a candidate. questioned. Hopefully there's no AI algorithm that's got the final say as to whether you're hired or not, but all you're trying to do is to move to the next stage of the recruitment and selection process. If you do go into AI job interview, you do have to pretend like you're talking to a human, and a lot of practice can be had in this space simply by doing mock interviews, recording yourself to camera where the camera is the fake human. I've been doing this for about 2 years now, so hopefully I'm pretty natural in front of an AI job interview robot, in this case the camera. And the next tip is really important: mind the job description for keywords and use them. This is the same approach I give my students to answer exam questions. Look for the keywords in the stem of the exam question, go back to your lecture notes and textbook, highlight all these keywords, and put together a concept map of how all these keywords are connected to each other so that you understand how to string them together into a cohesive sentence. Companies instruct AI to assess job applicants based on predefined criteria related to overall goals. So you're looking for duties and qualifications for the job. You're looking for the value statement of the company, the strategic goals, the 5-year plans. Have all of those keywords and concepts lined up in a pre-rehearsed answer and use as many of them in your response as possible. You never know how the job interview process will go. In all likelihood, it's going to get more humiliating and more tough as the years go on, not simpler. But with the tips we talked about today, with the understanding of the one big idea that is indirectly communicated in every one of your answers, I'm sure you will survive to the next round of the selection criteria. And it's up to you if you want to end up working for an organization which puts you through that process. If you're interested in how scientists manage failure as part of their daily routine and what happens to failed scientists, you can find that video linked here when it's ready to go. I'm Jack. Hope to connect with you again in the next episode.